The second new event of Season 3 is finally upon us with the Triathlon. Hello everybody and welcome back then to the VALVIK Marble League with me as always, Frankie. And we're here with the Triathlon, an event of speed in 3 different stages. But let's have a look then at those overall standings. Last time out it was the Sushi Squad that took gold in the half-pipe sprint, but it's still the Bubblegum Ballers in the lead, 1 point away from the Carbons in second. Team Virtuoso and the Scorperiors round out the top 4. But let's have a look then at this brand new event, the Triathlon, and demoing it for us is going to be Team VKL. The Triathlon is just like any other speed event we've seen before. This time, it's a little bit different because it's divided into 3 stages. As you can see, this is the first stage, which is a sand course, then going straight into a racing track that teams are very used to back in the marathon, team pursuit, and then rounding these last few corners off with the stairs, as we call them. It's kind of like a hurdle event, kind of like the hurdles. So in this particular stage of the triathlon, you need to make sure that you hop through these stairs as fast as possible. Then of course there you see the finish line. That's where you will finish. In this particular demonstration run, it will be Valley that will win. Of course, just like the triathlon, just like any other heat event, we are dividing it into 4 heats of 4 teams. Top 2 will advance. But let's move on then with heat number 1 with the Ballers, Peaks, Sky Scouts, and Shotgun. And they're off. And it's a good start there for the Bubblegum Ballers, who have a huge skip in the sand section. They're already in the track section there. Battle for second though is still pretty tight. Look at Pixie the Peaks holding the lead over the Sky Scouts as Avian now takes the lead. Going into the stairs now are the Bubblegum Ballers, but they get stuck there. That is allowing the Sky Scouts and the Peaks to catch up. Peaks now in a brief lead now as the Ballers retake the lead though. Avian there is there as well. Shotgun kind of getting lost in this section here. Remember, only the top 2 advance. Approaching the finish line now. Who will it be? I think the Ballers will finish, and the Sky Scouts at the line will overtake the Mercuria Peaks. Oh, Avian making it work. They move on to the semifinal. That was a very straightforward race for the Bubblegum Ballers. They took the lead right at the beginning there. You saw that massive skip that Pop was able to take. They will advance. Sky Scouts on a good run of form as of late. They will advance as well. Mercuria Peaks will have to compete for 9th to 12th. And Shotgun, they just got their medal but are now going to be fighting for the last 4 positions. But it's the Ballers and the Scouts that advance. As we get into Heat 2 with the Scorperiors, Sailors, Violet Vermin, and the Goldbirds. And they're off. And it's a good start for the Scorperiors. They take the lead now into the first section. But look at that, the Sailors now going into the second section have taken the lead. And Parasite is there as well. They've taken the lead into the track section now. Goldbirds, meanwhile, at the back, going into the last section now. It is still Parasite in a brief lead now. Depends on how the entry is. Look at that, the Sting gets a very good entry into the stairs here. Fighting it out with the Violet Vermin as the Sailors and the Goldbirds fighting it out for 3rd and 4th. Sailors need to get a move on here. The Scorperiors will finish. Who will finish in second? It doesn't look to be any of the Goldbirds. It will be the Violet Vermin. Sailors there, after getting the lead at the beginning, they are now going to finish in last. But the Scorperiors there, Sting, the reserve, will make it work. They will finish in first. That makes 2 of the current title contenders in the top 8. Of course, top 5 divided by only 3 points. Whoever will finish ahead of the other will probably take the lead in the overall standings. But Violet Vermin there as well. Parasite will move on. As we get into heat number 3 with the Carbons, Disco Neons, Balls of Zen, and Team Echo. Rolling down now. And it's a good start for the Fullerene. They take the lead now. Sustain is the result, but Blue Neon overtakes them for second. Balls of Zen, Utopia very far away there into the track section. But of course the track section is the Balls of Zen have mastered the track section. As we get into the last section now, it's a bad entry for Fullerene as Team Echo now takes the lead. But Fullerene recovers it now. Balls of Zen there in 3rd as well. Disco Neon's lost a lot of momentum. They're now down in 4th. Going through these stairs here, it's a big battle between Team Echo and the Carbons there as we approach the finish line now. I think the Carbons will take the lead. Balls of Zen overtook them, and that's how it's going to remain. Balls of Zen at the death there of the event, they were able to take second. They are going to advance. despite their mishap in the sand section, they were still able to make it work and move on. Meanwhile then, Disco Neons. A poor performance yet again for a team that took gold in the first event of the season. They're now going to face the fact that they're going to be in another bottom 4 situation here. But either way then, the Carbons and the Sens will move on. Team Echo and Disco Neons have to stand back. So again to the final heat with Team Virtuoso, Sushi Squad, Atomics, and the Royal Jesters. And they're off. Team Virtuoso there with a good lead. That's Captain Sonata there. Going to the track section now. Sushi Squad in second, battling it out with the Royal Jesters as Stooge now overtakes them. Atomics a little bit further away there as we get into the final section. We've seen how different strategies teams take here, but oh, it's a very good entry for Sonata and for Stooge, might I add. They're very far away there from Neutron in third. Sonata there with a very clear gap, but Stooge is closing in. Approaching the finish line now, and Sonata will finish easily. Stooge will come home in second. Battle now is to see where these two teams land. Sushi Squad currently in last. Oh, but they overtake the Atomics at the death there. Not bad. Team Virtuoso fans very happy with that particular performance. Sushi Squad, however, our latest gold medalist, will have to compete for 9th through 12th. And Atomics, a poor performance overall. Another team that's struggling a little bit right now in terms of performance. They're going to be in the bottom 4 as well. Right, line, and you look at photo finish. Sashimi manages to get past Neutron. So that is then your bottom 8. Now it determines in which order, as we have the 2 placement races, of course. As we get into it now for 13th to 16th, it's Shakuran, Sailors, Disco Neons, and the Atomics. They're rolling down now. It's a good start there for Shakuran. Sailors there in second. Very far away there are the Disco Neons. Into the track section they go now. It's still Shakuran managing to hold their ground against Port here. Going into the section here. Port gets a much better entry. Look at that. Closing in are the Atomics and the Disco Neons. There is Disco Neons take a provisional second. Port there extending that gap now. And Neutron again last. But they manage to get past the Shakuran now. Approaching the finish line now. Port, I think, might finish in first here. And they'll do it. Disco Neons will finish in second. And then the Atomics and Shakuran. Shakuran then, a last place position for a team that's very popular amongst the fans. They just got their first medal last event. But this time, it's no show, no game. They will finish in last. Sailors then will take 13th. Disco Neons will take 14th. And the Atomics will take 15th. As we get into the second placement race, this one to determine 9th to 12th with the Peculiar Peaks, Golfbirds, Team Echo, and the Sushi Squad. And they're off. And it's a good start for the Peculiar Peaks and Sushi Squad. Team Echo there in the back, going into the second section of the track. Golfbirds now in second. As I say that, Sashimi takes it back now. Ascent still a ways ahead of Sashimi as we get into the last section now. A good entry there for Sashimi though. Team Echo is there as well. And Peculiar Peaks and Golfbirds in a battle of their own as Sashimi now is extending that gap. And the Peaks and the Golfbirds actually get stuck. Oh, that's a disaster for both teams here as we're approaching the finish line now. The Sushi Squad will finish in 9th, and it's Team Echo in 10th. Oh, but it looks like the Golfbirds got themselves unstuck. They're now ahead of the Peculiar Peaks. And that's how I think they will finish, and they will. Oh, disaster for the Peculiar Peaks. They started in first and are now in last. And they got stuck as well with the Golfbirds. They were able to get themselves going again, but at what cost? They finished in 12th. Well, how did that even happen? I think they went for the same piece of track, but they just ended up getting stuck. This, of course, can happen. Look at that. Yeah. So then Sushi Squad will take best of the rest in 9th, with Sustain in 10th. Condor and Peculiar Peaks round out those last 2 positions. And that's how it's going to be for the bottom half. Sushi Squad through Shakuran. As we get into now the semifinals. And the first one is with the Ballers, Vermin, Carbons, and the Royal Jesters. And they're off. And it's Pop with another very good start here. VALVIK there in second. Carbon's Fullerene very far away here, but we've seen some come from behind victories from some other teams in the heats here, so perhaps the Carbons can still make it work. But it's the Ballers then, and going into the last section now. It's a good entry there for Fullerene as I say that. Stooge is there as well. Parasite is there as well. Bubblegum Ballers are getting lost behind there. Everybody else. Parasite now going into second, approaching the finish line, and I think Fullerene will do it. They will advance to the final, and it's going to be Parasite. Oh, super close there. Stooge was not able to get it, and the Bubblegum Ballers with a very slow last section here. They will finish in last in this particular heat. But a good recovery then from Fullerene of the Carbons. They make it to the final now, are guaranteed to have another top 4 finish. Hopefully they can make it a medal this time. But despite the fact that they were last in going into the sand section, going into the track section, they were still able to make it work in that last section now. And also Parasite, well done. They also advanced to the final. The VALVIK fans are very happy. Stooge unfortunately hit the wall right at the finish line there and was not able to make it past Parasite. As they approach the finish line now, look at Stooge goes to the right in order to hopefully get past Parasite, but they cannot do it. As we get now into the second semifinal. And this one is very stacked with the Sky Scouts, Scorperiors, Balls of Zen, and Team Virtuoso. And they're off now. It's a good start for Avian of the Sky Scouts. Team Virtuoso and Scorperiors are there. Scorperiors now take second place. Balls of Zen Utopia very far away now once again. Hopefully they can recover now going into the last section now. Let's see how that entry is into the stairs here. It's a decent entry for Avian. Sting though getting lost a little bit. Sonata also a very bad entry now. Battling it out with the Balls of Zen now are the Scorperiors. Look at switching back and forth. They're not going to bother Avian as they're approaching the finish line now. Avian will make it through. And they are now in the Scorperiors in second. They will beat the Balls of Zen and they've done it. Oh, that is a very big reason to celebrate for the Scorperiors. As Sting makes it to the final. Same with Avian with another top 4 finish. Hopefully they could get a medal here as well. We'll have to wait and see. But that was a very straightforward race from Avian. Not really bothered by everybody else in the heat. Scorperiors had to fight for it though, as they were battling it out with Utopia for the entire last section. Sonata a little bit behind there. They were really affected by that entry into the last section, but it is what it is. As now we move on to the race to determine 5th through 8th. With the Royal Jesters, Team Virtuoso, Bubblegum Ballers, and the Balls of Zen. And they're off. And it's a good start then from Stooge. Sonata is there in second as they get overtaken now by the Utopia. Bubblegum Ballers once again very far behind everybody else now as they're getting into the last section. Stooge has been very good in this particular section, and they get another decent entry here. But look at Balls of Zen right behind them. As Sonata once again messing up in the last section. They're currently in third ahead of the Ballers, but the Balls of Zen now currently in the lead now. But Stooge is closing in on them. Approaching the finish line. It's a good entry for the Royal Jesters as they will take the lead and the win. Zen's in second, and the Bubblegum Ballers at the death there. They will take third. But Stooge very good in that section. Really showed their mastery of that section compared to Utopia. So it's going to be 5th for the Royal Jesters. A good handful of points for a team that is in desperate need of some. Look at beautiful entry going for the finish line. Sonata, unfortunately, they will finish in 8th. And it's the Ballers in 7th, back in the top 8 after 4 dry events. But it's time now for the final. And it's the Scorperiors, Sky Scouts Carbons, and the Violet Vermin. And they're off. It's a good start for the Carbons. Good start for the Scorperiors though. Sting in the lead. Fullerene in second. Avian in third. Parasite down in 4th into the track section now. Fullerene closing in on Sting now. Approaching the final section. Sting has been very good in this particular section here, as they get a very good entry now. Fullerene getting messed up by Parasite and Avian. Sting very far away now as Avian gets a good entry as well, but they cannot do it. The Scorperiors will do it. Sky Scouts come home in second again, but the race is not over yet as the Carbons are approaching the Violet Vermin in the last section. They will overtake them. They take third. The Vermin are denied a medal, but it's the Scorperiors. Sting. Their fans are in disbelief right now Sting had a very well-controlled race, and then at the end there, Avian actually gave them a boost right to the finish line. It will be then their 3rd silver in a row for the Sky Scouts. Carbons then with a well-managed bronze medal to get past the Vermin right at the line there. But it's the Scorpioneers that take the gold spot for this particular event. Congratulations to our podium finishers, Carbons, Sky Scouts, and our gold medalists, the Scorpioneers. Well done then to the Scorpioneers for a fantastic performance here in the triathlon. Congratulations also to the Sky Scouts and the Carbons. But let's have a look then at those overall standings. And look at the Scorpioneers now take the lead. Carbons in 2nd, Bubblegum Ballers in 3rd, Team Joseph's Shoe Squad, and the Sky Scouts move up from 11th through 6th. But that's it from us from the VALVIK Marble League. Coming up next, return to the minor league with 2 events instead of 1. It's the rally course and the triathlon. We hope to see you there. Goodbye.